I don't know how to address this.
Switch it off.
Close it up. Close it up. That thing of him telling you to cut your people off, but then he keeps his people. Jamie. Jamie.
Sana, it's young but H-U-M.
Very young.
Tender.
Tender.
It's soft. It's malnourished. It's malnourished.
Do you really love your boyfriend?
Actually,
Are you sure?
love your boyfriend?
Are you sure? I'm not sure. I'm not
don't
sure.
think so.
Something similar happened to me, and I literally thought,
You hate me.
what? How do? When do?
What?
Advice, please. DT me.
It's giving me a lost. It's giving me.
Now let's say you got it. Say what's your price? Just to back it up, you can hold my eyes. Now let's say you got it. Say what's your price?
What's up, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it is your first time joining us, welcome to it. I really do hope that you stay, you subscribe, and you become a part of the ZeeX family. As you guys can see, we have a very special guest. Right next to me, we have Miss Nero. I won't say her surname because I'm going to say it wrong. I'm not even going to try myself out. I say it wrong. But Nero's here, and she's here to join us on an episode of #AskZeeX Online. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I don't know. Your subscribers seem to have big problems, right?
They do. And sometimes the problems are above me, but they might be above us, but we're gonna have to try. We're gonna have to try them out. So if you guys are excited for this video, please don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up right now. Don't forget to go ahead and check out Neo's channel. I will leave the link in the description box below, and I will also leave the link to the video that we did on her channel, so definitely go watch that. And without saying too much else, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let us get straight into the video. This first one says, how do you shake off feelings for a guy? Backstory, he's a workmate and we do vibe with each other really well.
Why do you want to shake them off?
I think it's because he's a workmate. I'm assuming that's the problem. Because guys, dating M17 is not a good thing to
that
do.
thing.
So I'm assuming that's why she wants to shake it off, because you know HR would not be happy about that.
That's true. Exactly. People are, I hope this finds you well. Sincerely, Nina Nyanzani. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It was found you very well.
Very well. Those emails are finding you comfortable. You guys are gonna have to have that conversation as two grown adults.
Exactly, and you maybe just have to distance each other a little bit more at the workplace, like.
Yeah.
And I'm sure probably there are conversations happening outside of work that you need to just.
That's the problem
nip it in the
as well,
bud.
because it's also just like you guys need to be honest with each other.
Yeah.
Like if nyafunana, then you must say nyafuna,
and go declare there by HR
and hope that your love is enough to feel.
And that thing is a lot. I don't ever feel like you should be dating at work, because also now if you break up, are you gonna find a new job? The climate right now is really hectic for job seekers. Where are you gonna find a job?
All for love? No, my sister.
And what if it's not love? That's my chance.
No, my sister.
Right now all she's saying is feelings.
No, my
I have
sister.
feelings for a lot of things. Tima, less of
Please,
feelings.
switch it off.
At the
Switch
main
it off.
switch. Do yourself that favor.
Unless he's making enough at work and you are okay with being maybe a housewife.
Child, I still feel like that is not a. That's not a plan. Men are too unpredictable for that plan.
Hey, hey. Actually, I forgot to tell
that day,
I'm sort of engaged.
I'm good. Don't do that, please, for my sake. In a new relationship, and the is 1 out of 10. Man arrives after 2 strokes. I tried telling him what to do during, and he was failing dismally. I don't know how to address this.
Switch it off.
Close it up. Close it up. Especially because you tried. Mate, she said 1.
No, my sister.
He basically has 0. She was just zummering him day by 1. It's
love yourself. I want more for you.
And also, you tried.
You tried. At least you were willing to like tell him to, you know.
You actually assisted him, and
he doesn't want to be assisted.
Also, no. Relationship, if you're not equally yoked, like some things are just not going to work, and that's one of the things that's just not working.
You don't want to live your life with that.
Because also if you think about it, it's going to end eventually, so may as well make it end
exactly. Now
like,
imagine a child comes out of 2 rounds. 2 strokes! A child out of 2 strokes!
The screamer, the thing I would scream.
I would actually
the thing
perish,
that I would scream.
I'd swallow myself.
No, so rather nip it in the bud now. You don't know how to address it. I think maybe it's a situation where she loves him, but then that thing is not.
It also depends on how important that thing is for you.
Exactly.
I personally feel like if you got to a stage of personally, we're not getting to I love you.
Yes. But also, she's even at the stage where she is DMing about it. So you are hacked about it. Like you like that thing. And
and I think you know the answer. You're just waiting for us to tell us.
Yes, and don't worry, say less because
shut it down. It's no, you deserve. I want more for you,
and you want more for yourself.
You do.
She wants more for
because
herself.
you're asking.
So just turn it off. It's not gonna work. And I think also it's just because men have egos, so that's why women are scared to address those things.
Kabang thinks he's doing.
He's lying it down, okay? And I'm sure you're even moaning. You even making him think with
saying his name.
Child, less of that. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 2 months. At the beginning of our relationship, he asked that we cut off our bites and focus on each other. Valid, okay? And so I did, and thought he did too. But I recently found out that he was talking to someone this whole time. I confronted him about it via text, and he insists on wanting to come and explain in person, and has also asked me not to break up with him. The obvious thing is for me to leave him, obviously, and not give him a chance to tell his side, but I'm also tempted to hear him out for closure. It's the closure having the
closure.
What should I do? Child.
Closure. Not for closure.
Not for closure, because seriously, closure is a myth. Closure's fake. You don't need it. I've told myself that many a times, but it's for closure.
I feel like my sister. The truth is, if you don't want to leave, you're not going to. Even if you leave, you're gonna come back.
Exactly.
And somebody's always there's always this thing of you have to go back until you
enough
nonsense, until you feel like like even his name just takes you off. But I think in all honesty,
I just feel like and we know that your man is a dishonest person. He has no honesty. Also, that thing of him telling you to cut your people off, but then he keeps his people. Jaini. Like, if you're gonna have people, allow me to have people like, they draw. Like,
if I speak.
No. Been there, done that.
Hey.
It's the ghetto.
Hey.
It's
and then
the
at the end, you're
ghetto. You asking yourself, Gifelani. There were many suitors ready
now
for
you
me.
have no suitors because you told all of them.
I cut off all my people because you asked me to.
Nothing. Never.
That's why I say, like, your man is dishonest because really he could have been honest in the first place and say, okay, we'll get to know each other. While I have my people, you have
exactly. Why did you have to tell me to leave my people?
But it shows
if you weren't ready. No,
to be
sorry,
a problem.
Zero.
So for me, fine, you can hear him out for closure.
Get that closure, because if you know one thing I've realized. If your heart wants something,
yeah, you're right.
Even if you decide, no, I'm not gonna let him come because I know my worth, your heart wants him to come and tell you.
You're dying for it.
So you're going to let him come eventually. Yeah. So do it. Do it to make yourself feel better. Whatever comes out of it, let it come out. And like I said, until you feel like, more like if you want to actually strangle him when you see him. My sister, close it up.
She said it all because literally sometimes a man needs to have you being renoué.
Yeah, he needs
and
to
that's when you'll be like, but obviously not in like a bad way. Yeah. Just where he bores you to the point where you're just like, I'm good. Like, you be safe.
Yeah.
I'll be safe. Let's go our separate ways because it's not working. So the next says, so I was in a relationship, then we broke up late last year. Early this year, I slid into some guy's DMs. Then we started hanging out, but then I realized that he isn't my cup of tea, so I broke it off after a few weeks. Fast forward a few weeks later, I get back with my ex, but the start was rocky, so I considered having the other guy as a side. But my partner and I got our act together, and the other guy was still not my cup of tea, so this time I ghosted. I'm in a very happy relationship now. The other guy seems to think I'm still available. He called me today, and I want to make it clear that I'm not interested anymore without sounding like a dick. How do I do it? It's not even a hard one. I didn't even know this was I even thought because it was so long there was gonna be something.
I'm sorry, someone beat you to it.
Pay it's over now. So sorry, hate, it had to be you. And even that thing of no wanting to sound like a dick, why not?
Why? You have to though. You have to.
Either way, whether you could say it in the nicest way possible and he could take it badly. Exactly. That's none of your business. Because at the end of the day, we are children.
And don't say sorry I have a boyfriend, because why are you sorry?
Sorry for what? Like, and also you're not even feeling this guy. Like, he's not your cup of tea.
Exactly.
So why do you care?
Simply just say, I am in a relationship.
It's over.
He's
Sorry.
big. He'll be okay.
He will literally.
He will actually be
life
fine.
is like that. Sometimes you win some,
There's
you
bigger
lose
things.
others.
It's a pandemic.
So this says, hi ZX, how does one deal with friendship breakups, especially if that person was your bestie? Oh, sorry. I should have put a TW at the beginning there. I'm
There's
sorry.
nothing more. Yo, I'm even numb.
I
Guys,
get you.
there's nothing more traumatizing than a friendship breakup.
I hear you.
Nothing. There's no breakup that hurts more than a friendship breakup.
Especially if it was your best friend.
Hey,
Like, best friend, that was
Like,
your personal person.
everything.
I feel like dealing with a friendship breakup just needs time.
It
Because time sensitivity, you just have to give yourself time. I feel like with any breakup, it's never gonna be easy at the
Exactly.
beginning. It's not easy.
I think it's so important to let yourself feel.
Yeah.
Let yourself, if you want to cry. If you want to check up on your friend, check up on your friend even if you don't get a response. Sometimes that's what helps.
Yeah.
Is that you'll be like, let me check up on them, and then you don't get a response, and then every time you try to check up, you don't get a response. Then it's sort of also, now you get to a point where you're like, aye man.
But you see, that's the thing of if maybe she broke up with you, like how do you do it if you had to break up with them? Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, because
of something they did.
Oh, Sana. I still say let yourself feel.
Yeah.
But obviously because you had to do that, then
In the sense that you don't have that thing of you'll be checking up on them because like,
Yeah.
actually this person did me dirty but like still love you
but
but
like,
like
I still love you, but nah.
how do I navigate? It's actually very tricky, guys. Also because I feel like friendships like are deep in a way where romantic relationships aren't, in the sense that there's parts of yourself that you are just so vulnerable with your to your friends where
yeah.
your man may not ever even get to see
Get to
those
that-
parts of
exactly.
yourself. So you also have to mourn the relationship because it's sad. Like
Yeah, I
memories
just
were
feel like you
had.
have to just let yourself feel, Sana. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to be angry. If you want to go on a spree of whatever emotion, I feel like the worst thing to do after any sort of breakup is to suppress your emotions and
Yeah.
act like you're okay, because
You're not okay.
when they become okay, then it's gonna hit you like
That is so true.
Yo.
When they're moving on and they're making you,
and then it's
you're like,
you see your best friend calling other people best friend, and you're like,
Ashus.
sorry, what's that? Never be disloyal, no matter
I
the condition.
agree.
Yeah.
Also, because don't make it change your character. If you've always been a loyal friend, don't now become somebody that you don't recognize. Be yourself, but go through what you need to go through. And yeah, friendship breakups are tricky.
They are very hectic.
So this one says, "Hey Z, I hope you're good. Imdase inzima indo endiguyo," meaning the thing that I'm in is difficult.
It's a big.
I'm turning 21 this year, but I think it's safe to say I found the love of my life. So well. But the problem is I feel like I'm still too young to settle down. I still want to be in the streets for a bit, but also I don't want to lose a genuine person over a good time in the streets, because he is 27 and surely he is ready to settle down. Also, the downside of this relationship is we have been trying to make it work from the beginning. It has never been a matter of falling in love and kube mnandi kube ilondo, but don't get me wrong, kumnandi ngoku, and I enjoy the relationship a lot. God, I hate the fact that we fight all the time. Another pointer is that I'm not okay mentally and I want to start seeing a therapist. And with that being said, I feel like I want to be alone for that stage, but I know for a fact that he won't want to step back. I know I stated a lot of things up, but these are all my dilemmas.
Sure.
It is quite the dilemma.
Abanye abantu bathi go through a lot.
Bayagoisha.
No, you know, the other day I was speaking about this on my live, and I was like, you know, the whole age difference thing. Yeah.
You see,
sometimes it's like it's grand, it works, yeah, but sometimes it doesn't. For the mere fact that the things that you're excited about, you wanting to go out in the streets, you wanting to this. Having been with somebody that's closer to your age,
they're gonna understand.
Want to do it with you.
Exactly, and they're gonna understand if you want to do it, even if they don't want to do it.
Do you understand? Whereas with them, like you said, your partner's ready to settle down, your partner's ready to be serious, your partner's ready for this and this and that, and you're valid for you. Like you say that you're not so certain. Sana, it's young the age you're at. It's
very young.
Tender.
Tender.
It's soft. It's malnourished. It's malnourished. And I feel like when we're young, we're so focused on like finding the person that we love and could he be the one. And I always have this thing of just because it's the best you've got, it doesn't mean it's the best.
It's the best that's coming.
You're young. Do you understand how young you are? Do you understand? If you think about your life 2 years ago, and I always say this to my friends, and I'm like, think about the heartbreak you had that you thought you'd never heal from.
And here you are
and
healing.
you're like, what was I even crying over?
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
And especially with the mental health part, I think it's so important to actually step back. Tell your partner that I need to step back to focus on my mental health. If they love themselves, they will let you, because if you don't focus on your mental health, you're gonna ruin
and it's gonna come up in your relationship. Anyways.
Exactly. And so if your partner's not understanding of that and they feel like you're trying to push them away and etc., then Sana, it's really one of those things where you have to let it be what it is. Yeah, because it's tender, the age.
It's very tender. I agree. I feel like the age gap situation for me, 21 and 27 are huge, like vastly different phases in my life. Like, I mean, in a person's life. 21, you're young, you want to be in the streets, you want to enjoy your life. And 27 years, you may be further on in your career. Settling down seems like something that's close by. So you guys, in that sense, I go back to being equally yoked. You guys don't want the same things at this particular time. And that's probably even why you guys are always fighting, because she even said, like, we fight a lot. The whole, it's never been a smooth sailing in the relationship. That should tell you something as well. Like, the whole thing, it's not giving what it was supposed to. It's not giving what it's supposed to. And then there's the mental health aspect of it, of which I feel like also when you're so young, you should be able to be selfish enough to be like, I need to be alone. I want to be alone to work on myself.
This part.
Literally, you should. That should be the time of your life where you're the most selfish, to be like, I'm using these years to be better.
Exactly. I feel like so many times as women especially, we're so focused on like, this is the relationship, we've been together for this long, he's so great to me, he's this. But I feel like you need to be okay. You need to let your partner know that I need you to be okay with me choosing myself. Exactly. Even though our relationship is perfect, I don't know why, but in this moment I feel like I need to choose myself.
Exactly.
Because otherwise,
and especially because it's like the age for me, like that's the time to choose yourself. That's the time to not have to think about the next person before you do something for yourself. Like if you need to go to therapy, you need to go to therapy. And you know you want to be alone, or you need to be alone during that time, be alone. Like,
because if you force situations, you're gonna end up 27 thinking, sure, I haven't even experienced,
I haven't lived, and then it's gonna be awkward now because all your friends are past that point in their life. They did it. They banged it when they were 21 and so whatever, and they're good. Like,
I feel like too many times as black girls, we're also raised by women who've never had the opportunity to be selfish. So I feel like we become in this thing of, I can't be selfish, you know? I need to choose this and this and this. Okay, yeah, and what if I have a good life and I'm almost independent, but then I get to 28 and
we need to normalize people. There are a lot of people who get to 28 and maybe you're not in the like you don't have to have everything.
If I have a child before 30, it's teenage pregnancy.
Like, I get you.
Because I don't understand why I'm, you know, and it works for some people, it doesn't work for others.
Exactly.
And if you feel like it doesn't work for you, be selfish. It's okay.
Exactly. Like, normalize that thing of not fearing getting to 28 and being like, I don't have it. Yeah. Normalize, like, it's okay. Even if you get there and you're 28 and you don't have, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. You won't, you will live, believe me. Hey ZeeX, I hope you're good. I'm in a dilemma. So I was seeing someone sometime last year for about 6 months. We broke things off due to long distance, but remained okay. But after we cut off communication because I was generally still going, we break up. Fine. 34 months. I met someone else and I was generally in a good space and ready to mingle again. The relationship is really going well and Nyani, but I can't seem to get that other guy off my mind. This literally gives me alostro because how am I loving two people at the same time? To top it off, my ex wants to meet soon and I'm curious Miles or Teeny, but at the same time, Dine guilt because I'm with someone else. Advice, please. Nditini.
It's giving me alostro. It's giving me. There's a lot going on.
You had a relationship, you broke up, but you are still clinging onto it. This is why your ex is your money, pushy friendship, my ex, because now you're in something else. But just think about the ex because you guys are so cool, and now you can't be happy in your new thing because.
Is it not that the person that you met after your ex was a distraction?
Maybe, yes. Because also you said, what I'm getting from this, you guys broke up because of long distance, right? So it wasn't because there was any love lost.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was probably distracted. But the thing is now she's gotten to like the distraction.
So she has feelings for the distraction.
Yes, she has feelings for, but she says, how am I loving two people at one time? Oh, it's a lot of love that I have to get.
Big I love you.
It's a lot of love. Hi, so I am a strong believer of the fact that yeah, it's going to be nice now, but you're going to have to make a decision at some stage.
Yeah.
At some point you'll have to. The thing that I know for sure is that the same problem that you and your ex had before, you still have it today, because one thing about that distance, it's still there. He didn't move closer. So I don't know what the benefit of going back there is, even though you do have feelings, if there's no prospect of you guys coming together again. If distance is what broke you up before, what's going to keep it together this time?
I have this thing of like, when you break up, if you guys broke up for a reason, you can't come back together if the reason
is not
changed. Like, it's not going to change. You guys are going to break up.
It's going to be the same thing.
Point, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, out of respect for your current partner, set the boundary.
I agree.
And that's if you actually have feelings enough to want to pursue something serious with the person that you're currently with. At the end of the day, sometimes it's not even about who do I like more, who do I... It's also just about respecting omunye umuntu, like just respecting somebody else. Because can you imagine if you were in the position that he is,
exactly,
and he was the one
meeting up with the ex,
not knowing. I mean, it's okay to be indecisive. We all have like moments of indecisiveness, but it's also just about realizing, like, are you willing to cross that? Because once you cross that boundary and that X or whatever is introduced, the whole X topic, once an X topic is introduced,
it's gonna be matata in your relationship.
Even if he's at groove and you guys just happen to be at the same groove,
it's gonna be nonsense.
It's gonna be nonsense. So I feel like if your ex has something important to say, Sana, we have.
I also think so. I don't get why you guys have to do an F to F
even
meeting.
FaceTime, Sana, Zoom if you wanted to be
Zoom, bruh, and
Zoom.
Microsoft Teams, do something. Like, it's just curiosity. The reason you want to go and see this ex, like, you don't need to do that. Like, you really don't need to do that. Like, you want to have your cake and eat it, and it's gonna be cute now, but it's gonna cause problems in the future.
You won't have any cake at some point.
You won't have any cake.
None.
And that's not fun. Everybody wants cake. So literally, just make a decision now. What is it that you want? Maybe you don't want to be with this new guy and you want to go back to your ex, even though the distance is still there. Whatever it is, but you're gonna have to make a decision, because there's no having love for everyone.
Out of respect for yourself and everybody in the situation, you're gonna have to make a decision at some point. And I think once you start leaning towards whichever decision you're gonna make, it's gonna be easier.
Exactly.
But I think right now, because you're involved with somebody, set a boundary with your ex.
So this one says, hey girl, so first year I was 18, now I'm 20 in my third year of varsity. So first year I was dating this guy, was 19. We started dating grade 11 when I was 16. First year I used to take care of him and give him money. Since I got allowance, I think she's saying more allowance than him. I took care of him all year long, and when we went home in December, he started ignoring me. He started ignoring me since he got home. I broke up with him and was single for the whole 2020. Now I'm in a relationship, but I'm scared to open up again. I think you're equating opening up with giving him money, and that's what's confusing me.
Parental guidance.
Literally parental, because what does opening up have to do with the money thing? Because or taking care of a man?
I think she's saying that I gave this guy my all, opened up to him, let him in.
Okay.
At the end, just to find out he's taking advantage of me. I think that's sort of what she's going
for my sake, that taking care of a man thing.
In first year. For taking care of a man.
I'm actually just
in any year.
I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because you were young. I guess. No, I'm gonna say, like, sometimes you're young and you don't know things and you find yourself. But all I'm saying is, I hope you learned something from that lesson that you went through, because it was a hard lesson to learn, but it was a lesson nonetheless. That you're taking care of
him with an allowance.
Exactly, like you don't get a salary. Even that would be even worse to be honest. At least the allowance is free money.
It's big. Taking care.
Yeah.
Taking care means, babe, I'm hungry.
I get it. Some people, I actually have to be open to the fact some people are just givers like that, of which maybe I'm just not. But I hope you learned something from that lesson, because that was a lesson that, as sad as it was, and I'm sure you were very hurt by the situation, it's a lesson. And if you did not learn from that lesson, you're gonna repeat it in this next relationship. There's a way to be a partner to someone and be helpful and to be there for them without being taken advantage of. Like, let's be honest, relationships should be working two ways. It cannot ever.
Like, if you know that you don't have money and I have money, okay, Grant, I'll provide the base. Like, I'll provide, if we need somewhere, I'll provide, we can be at my apartment. I'll provide, I'll bring that. But then you need to also
do something.
Some way.
There needs to be some, for me, even that's what I'm saying, if in a relationship, there needs to be a capacity for both people to do 50-50 of the things that we both like to do.
Exactly.
Like, there must be capacity. Or else again, you're not equally yoked. And money at the main switch. Like, nobody should feel like they are stretching really, really far, and another person is having to, bring themselves
also,
down
I just feel like that person genuinely doesn't respect you, because for you to do so much for them, at that point, it's not even about like a girl. This girl one bitch, etc. But it's also just like, this is a human being. I was gonna say, as a human, extending themselves to help me, and for him to ghost you, he simply just does not respect you. Do you understand? And so I think the first thing that you should do when going into your next partner is see if this person actually respects you. And I feel like sometimes respect isn't, people think like respect is, yes, I understand that to get respect you must be respected, but sometimes it's simply just in the way the decisions that you make that could impact somebody else just states how much respect you have for that person. Do you understand? It's so easy to respect someone. You could respect, a random lady at the shop that you don't even know. So if you literally can disregard somebody's feelings to that extent, you simply don't respect them. So I feel like looking at the respect elements and those traits, then it's very important to do that, Sana.
Yeah, especially because I'm sure you also know that you're a person who's a very giving person, and people do take advantage. Just generally, if you're a person who gives a lot, people do take advantage. So just hold yourself back a little bit more and assess the situation before you go
and also, you're not the problem, hey. I feel like a lot of the time we feel like when we go through trauma, we feel like the way that we loved was the problem, and there was nothing wrong with the way that you loved. It's just the person that you were loving was not equipped to deal with the love that you're giving.
They were not the right person for your love. Because the right person will come who will spoil you the same way you spoil them. Do you get it? Like it will be
an
equal thing. But right now, like if you don't feel like it is, don't too much like that, because you're gonna go bankrupt in that relationship. You're gonna,
if you don't feel like you guys are equal, you feel like you're seeing a lot of homeboy in this one,
just keep your monies here, okay? Keep it here.
Maybe give your mom your card,
please. Do something. Hide your money, bro. Do something. Crazy. I'm 23 years old, and I'm in a long distance relationship with my boyfriend. We've been together for 3 years now. Distance is the only issue in our relationship. The only way for us to be in one place is either we get married, or one of us, I'm like, what? Or one of us gets a job in the same city or closer. He's been talking about us getting married next year. I love him so much and I want this to work for both of us. Is it a good idea to get married? Just, what? How you gonna ask me?
No, you guys can't be getting married just to be closer.
But also, you're asking me, is it a good idea to get married? Do you want to get married in your 20s? Do you? Because I can't tell you if it's a good. We've never been married in our 20s.
We ain't even thought about marriage.
Ain't nothing I can tell you about being married in my 20s. So, do you feel like it's the right decision? I don't feel like you need to be doing any decision based. I mean, to be honest, if you want to maybe get married to move closer to each other, I guess maybe. But I don't think that's a good basis to start your marriage on.
Because you do get closer to each other and you realize you actually don't like this person. If you guys want to get married, that's grand. But I feel like try other ways of getting closer first.
Yeah,
the whole job thing. Yeah. One person moving for another. Try that first. Close the distance. Spend a lot of time together, and then actually look into this chat of marriage. If you want to get married, that's okay. But I think that's a very big leap.
Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking maybe they from a very religious or traditional household. That's because I'm thinking like, why is marriage the only way? Like, why don't you just live together? Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe that's why.
You don't want the whole fat thing.
Yes, maybe that like it's not.
Which is okay, but then you can still do the whole finding a job in the town closer.
Yes, that one you can do, but then
I feel like find a way to get closer first, and then let marriage be the next step. I don't think marriage should be a step based off of these bases, because
exactly, and specifically if you're doing it for religious reasons like that, I didn't see that one in the Bible.
Yeah,
you get married to move closer. That was
the Bible I saw.
So
not my Bible.
You have other avenues, explore them. If you end up not finding them, and if you genuinely have a desire to spend the rest of your life with this person, then bang it. Because
okay
honestly,
to get married,
it's literally okay. Yeah. Lots of people did it, and lots of people are having a great time doing it. So I'm not here to say it's an awful thing for you to do. Do what it works for you. Yeah. But for the right reasons.
Try other means first.
So the next one says, I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years now. All of you guys, everyone is having problems with their boyfriend.
Relationship and distance. Get coffee.
Get coffee. I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years now. In April, I meet this other guy. Yo! It always be like that. The is amazing, sis. Problem is, I just found out that I'm pregnant. And I know for sure that the father is the other guy. What should I do? I really love my boyfriend. Do you really love your boyfriend? Do you really love your boyfriend?
Do you actually
Are you sure?
love your boyfriend?
Are you sure? I'm not sure. I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so because if you would have just displayed that love, none of this would have happened. Sis, this is a classic thing of you literally curated this whole thing. Like
you put this together.
Quite literally only have yourself to, like, you went and you fished it.
You said I don't want peace.
I want problems.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
I think for this, remember now that there's a child involved.
Yeah, boy.
For the sake of your child, make the decision that's best for the child.
I agree.
I think it's so important to make the decision that's best for the child, because now if you make a decision that's safe or that sounds like it's better or whatever, even if your child doesn't know, there's gonna be a point.
Hey,
We've seen our Filmora nabo, there's gonna be
you
a
better
point.
not do. I wasn't even thinking about that, but you better.
You better
Not do that weird
put the
stuff.
child first. Put the child first. Unfortunately, you're a mom now. And
it's
putting yourself
you
first
made
is
yourself
out
a
the
mom.
window.
You
made yourself a mom.
have to also take responsibility. It can't be woe is me. And I'm here to tell you, like, it can't be you are the victim of circumstance.
Yeah.
You made the circumstance.
Because it's also just like, imagine now, worst case scenario, you decide you're gonna tell your current boyfriend that he's the dad. Do you know how much that would?
Don't ever do that nonsense, please.
Don't.
And at the end of the day, I feel like this dilemma is mostly about you being pregnant, because all the other stuff, honestly, is just like
Also,
semantics.
I don't think you actually love this man.
You don't love this man, because had you loved him, you wouldn't have been entertaining other men, no less sleeping with them. If we're keeping it about, like, you are sleeping with this man. You are sleeping.
You are partaking.
You are auditioning for kids with this man. So please, don't disrespect your poor boyfriend by telling him you love him, because you have not displayed any. There's no show of love. That whole thing is
you're a mom.
You're a mom, and that's the baby daddy.
That's the baby daddy. That's your man.
And you're gonna have to stick beside him. You're gonna have to stick beside him. You're gonna have to tell the boyfriend either way, whether you love it, whether you claim to love him or not.
And for pregnancy is unfortunately one of the things you really can't hide.
You can't, and maybe he'll accept you and the child.
Maybe.
You never know. They're cool boys as well in 2021. It's kind of cool boys.
Maybe
So
he's
maybe
a better man than me.
Some men are better. Okay, not any that I know, but
yeah,
maybe yours. So this is what's happening. I met this guy in 2019. We started off by vibing. Things were great and none of us were complaining. Come 2020, things become serious between us, but we never had that conversation, talking about where and what we are. Red flag number one. Throughout the year 2020, we continue with the vibing, both catching feelings, but more him than me. And the guy now wants to dictate what I do, who I spend time with, and all. My reaction to that was, he will only gain somewhat of a right to dictate or have an impact/input onto my life once he asked me to be his girlfriend, as I never work with assumption. Towards the end of 2020, this guy asked me to be his girlfriend. Towards the end of 2020, the guy asked me to be his girlfriend. Yeah, I was reading the right thing. Buys me flowers, chocolates, bottle of wine, and a pair of sneakers. We start dating officially, and things are amazing. Now, fast forward to this year. We're going dating, okay? We're dating, and like any other relationship, we have our ups and downs, and it got to a point where I decided to break things off. So now here's the dilemma. About a week ago, me and the guy start talking again, and I mean, we both missed each other. Truth be told, we had a good thing going. So the guy asked me to come over to my place for dinner and to chill and catch up. I agree. So he comes Friday evening. We had a wholesome evening, which extended to the evening time. Okay. Come morning now, he wakes up and takes a shower. While he's showering, his phone rings and it's written my fiance. Now I'm confused.
Tyler Perry. It's giving Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry is making documentaries.
It's giving Tyler Perry.
He's making documentaries. He's actually not making movies. They're dockies. Hey, jockeys. Now I'm confused as to what's happening and the phone rings again. But now I'm confused as to what's happening and the phone rings again and again, maybe 5 times. On the third call, I shout to him and say, your fiance is calling you. He nearly fell in the shower. I didn't pick up the phone. He comes out the shower and he is speechless. He then proceeds to ask me to iron him his shirt instead of addressing this.
I would burn him with that iron.
Yay! Because of the clown that I am, I agreed to iron his shirt and minimize the awkwardness. He gets dressed and he is dressed good, puts on cologne, and the works. This is a horror movie. I suggest that he needs to call the fiance, as it could be a pressing issue for her to call 5 times. He steps outside and calls her. After the call, he states that he actually has a breakfast date with her. This is the same guy that was telling me just the night before that he loves me and wants me back in his life. I honestly feel like he disrespected me, making him iron his shirt so that he can go see another girl, fiance for that matter. Men are honestly the pandemic. My sweetie, can I just tell you for free?
Guys.
This man hates you in a big way.
He hates you in a
huge way, in a way that is not even, I can't even
It's him asking you to iron his shirt.
And then it's you doing it. What was going on?
For you
guys, he said, it's okay, fine, you had the audacity to ask me. What were you doing?
And then you
what
have
were
your
you
identification officer where he tells you he has a breakfast date.
Can I literally tell you, that is when you're gonna know with your man. That's something, I don't want to say the same thing, something similar happened to me and I literally thought,
you hate me.
What? How do? When do? I just said to myself, as soon as that happens, as soon as you see that level of disrespect where you even ask, that is when you have to make it clear, Guti, what the fuck? Even first, obviously from the time the fiance was called, you were already a clown from that time, which is fine, it wasn't your doing. But from time you ironed that man's shirt, sweetie,
Sana, you would have come
sealed
out that shower and found your bags at the door.
You're leaving.
You're leaving.
You
I
are
don't
going
want to know if you said your mom as my fiance, if you said your sister as my fiance.
And I think you normalized it a bit by having that conversation. It was too calm, man.
No, it was. I suggested you close her back.
It was too calm, man.
Men.
Don't ever give men don't ever let them have peace. Like, be wild sometimes. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
and I know that
wild.
they're so wild. I have this thing of when a man does you dirty and you feel like you tell him off, but somehow you end up being the one that's like,
you feel insane.
Ish, okay.
Because they gaslight. They gaslight. And you know, men are like that. The night before they'll be seriously excited. I love you so much.
Hey! And then a day, 2 days later,
fiance, your phone. And for what?
For what? You did this for what?
You did this for what?
But you did this for what?
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Why though?
Why though?
Why?
Also, the fact that you guys went from 2019 to 2020 talking stage, he hates you.
Actually, we didn't even address that part.
That was when I heard that, I said never in my life, not during a pandemic, not while we're dying, not while there's different pandemics coming up every day.
Forget.
I saw say a year.
Forget.
Talking to you.
What conversation are you having after a year?
How many languages are we speaking?
Like, surely we learn
How many languages
to communicate. Every single way to
There's no
communicate,
way.
they're doing it. There's absolutely no reason for you to be talking to someone for a
Also,
year.
you guys broke up 2020. It's 2020. He's already engaged. Dude, this man actually hates you. Do you understand? That is insane. And for my sake, I need you to understand right now as you're watching this video, this man hates you.
He hates you in a big way. Tologoti has had that fiance from time.
He was there
started
all the time.
Yo, I'm telling you, that fiance's been there. I'm telling you for a fact. That's why you couldn't materialize what we're doing. You're not, we're not in a relationship, but you want to tell me who I can hang out with. You want to tell me how to dress. It's never gonna work. It's not gonna happen. This one is saying my bite literally only texts me when he wants some. I recently lost a loved one and he couldn't even send a condolences text message. I give him not anything, but I will show a little compassion. Surely he hates me.
Guys, but we...
It's such a difficult.
It's like
very.
We need to understand the definitions.
I get that. And also, if Nichangane only for whoever, for frama chips. Realistically, he probably doesn't, especially if you guys want friends. You know,
but actually, why are you okay
with having people like that
having
in your life?
Exactly. With somebody that lacks human compassion?
Yeah, well.
He lacks basic compassion.
But what I'm saying is, if this is him, if this is how he is, I'd like to think he's been like this the whole time.
Yeah.
And you are still.
And as much as there's no feelings involved, you guys like have an affair. Why do you want to give yourself sana?
Exactly.
Hey, you're Megan Thee Stallion knees.
Because even
someone that can't.
That's what I'm saying. Because even in a bite situation, you don't just bite everyone. Dude. Even you who asked this thing, you're not biting every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of something.
That's what I'm saying. Is that this thing of people trying to make it seem as though no matter what the basis of your relationship is, if you're spending a certain amount of time with someone, whether it's just on a sexual basis, whether it's on an emotional one, there's no way you're not gonna grow to care for that person. You're a human being.
But men. I I'm really even trying to picture how this man, like, how that wouldn't have even come up in conversation.
Like all these
like, do you guys just come, bang, and then he leaves straight after? Like, what is the dynamic to where he does? Do you guys not have conversations?
Like, I hope you're well, and I hope you've mourned.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, come through.
He probably doesn't even talk about the morning. He probably just says, "Oh, like, where are you?" And I can see that's not your portion.
It's not your portion.
It's not your portion because you can't believe that he hasn't.
And I think you need a compassion.
Exactly.
You need a human,
exactly.
not man, human being with compassion.
Exactly.
It's basic human skills. Those ones.
I'll still say though, it's completely up to you if you want to keep it going. But I feel like going forward, you're gonna know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Yeah. This is a guy who doesn't want to know about anything. All right. Yeah. He just wants to have. And let it go. Like, he's not trying to get to know you. And maybe the reason that you heard about it because maybe you have gotten to a point where and he don't care. He's not where you are. So that's why also guys in the Mayaba bite is a bit trigger tracks.
Can't do that thing.
But
I don't do that thing. No.
If you feel like you still want to continue having with this guy, just know what type of guy you're dealing with.
Yeah,
at least now you know this guy
has been honest with you about his character.
Exactly.
So you cannot months down the line when he lacks compassion
be angry and start whining.
Because one thing about girls,
hey, worst game, do you know what's worse? When you're whining at a person who doesn't give a fuck. That's worse because
I've screamed at someone and they looked at me and said, "Are you done?
Wrap it up. Close it off."
And I get when they say women lack accountability, but I see it not in the way that men see it. I see it in the way that we have this thing of it's red, the flag, it's red. It's red, that flag. There's millions of them surrounding you. After you wake up, it's a red flag. But you're colorblind. And then down the road, you're screaming at the red flag like, why are you red?
That's
and it's
so
like,
true.
my sister.
Sometimes we have to also acknowledge the part we have to play in our own suffering. Sometimes, even though it's not your fault, but there is something. You always have to introspect.
You need to apologize to yourself for not choosing yourself.
Exactly. Hi ZeeX, I've been with my partner for 5 years now and through my degree. Now Sakala LDR. What is LDR, child? I don't know what that is.
Lord Democratic Republic.
Maybe, child. This year, December a final year, and I realized this is not what I want, and work ethic and I'm not feeling his work ethic. Please advise and ifuni bengati dimlasa kuba ndiguba mna. I think she's like saying, I don't want it to be like I leaving him because I'm getting done with him. Child, you also don't love this man. Or you've fallen out of love with this man. And that's okay. I do get that thing of, because if I'm thinking about myself, seeing a man without a work ethic, it's an ick.
It's not going to work.
It's not giving.
It's not going to work. Especially because sometimes you find that you fell in love with him because he was ambitious.
Yes.
He was
ambitious. Yes. And now there's no ambition.
He was ambitious and he had a work ethic, and now there's none of that. Sana. That means sometimes I was saying that I feel like we need to understand that sometimes, guys, the love that we share with people is for seasons. And sometimes you need to realize the season is over.
So you gotta cut it off.
If there's not a love that's meant for you, that will never not find you.
I agree.
Ever. So if that's the man that's meant for you and your guys' season right now is not matching, let it go. And then if it's meant to find you,
it'll find you again. Because honestly, what you're saying is valid. And you can't think of it in a sense of, oh, he might think it's because this and that and the third. You'll break up with him, but you'll explain to him, but listen, dude, these are the reasons why I'm not happy anymore. And more than anything else, I don't want to be here. Like,
because now you're trying to sacrifice what you want in your life to spare his ego.
Exactly, and it's literally just his ego. So
there's nothing
he will rebuild.
In, like sparing a man's ego.
He will rebuild.
Won't spare you embarrassment. He won't spare you nothing.
He's gonna rebuild. Don't worry. That ego will come back.
It will come back. Somebody will soothe it.
Literally
along the road.
And I can just imagine being in a relationship with a man who had no ambition or
you just
it's not gonna work. It's just never gonna work. I'm sorry.
I saw this tweet. This guy said the question was, when did you know he was broke? She said when he stood on my balcony at my apartment and said, I could get used to this. Imagine, baby, leave that man.
Cutie. Alrighty guys, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please do let us know down below in the comments, what do you guys think of the dilemmas that we dealt with in today's video? I feel like, guys, if boys have the girls down, I don't like that.
Because this entire thing was just,
it was literally,
guys, we're dealing with a lot.
It's a lot, man. The other gender is putting us through a lot.
They're putting us through too much.
I don't like it. I don't like it for the girls, but I hope siya healisha, siya rebuild, siya, you know,
Becoming
we become
better.
better. Exactly. Don't forget to check out Neil's channel, and also don't forget to check out the video that we did on Neil's channel. Please don't forget to comment, like, and of course, subscribe. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Yo, that bite didn't come out. She said, bye.